Hey everyone, it's Bobcat Goldthwait.
And this is Francisco Ruiz as part of a retro rewind review of Super Metroid for Geek Devotions. My name is Francisco. This is actually Paul. He's over there. jpowers.com. Yes. He is a official domain name. It's ridiculous. I don't know how I befriended a domain name, but here we are.
There's a little cheat code for that.
Exactly. So now that we've gotten through our introductions, let's give you a quick overview of the production specs of Super Metroid. So Super Metroid was released in Japan on March 19th, 1994, but the US in April 18th of 1994. So pretty
later.
Close together, yeah. It was developed by Nintendo and R&D1 Intelligent Systems, published by Nintendo, directors Yoshio Sakamoto, and produced by Makoto Kano, with programmer Kenji Imai and artists Hirofumi Matsuka and Masahiko Mashimo and Hiroyuki Kimura, with composer Kenji Yamato.
Sounds delicious.
And wow, Paul. And of course, if you don't know, Super Metroid was released for the Super Nintendo Entertainment System and the Super Famicom in Japan.
And it's really it's really Metroid 3.
It is really Metroid 3, yeah. And if you've played through it, you'll see in the beginning it says Metroid 3. And you know what, let's go ahead and get into, so we just played it a little bit here before we record this to sort of refresh ourselves or play for the first time in the case of one of our experiences. Let's go through one thing we liked and then a classic maker, and then we'll do one thing we disliked and a tragic maker. So Paul, what was something you liked through this, your little 20-minute play there of Super Metroid?
It seemed relatively easy killing bad guys.
They didn't seem too overpowered or anything.
Right at the get-go, like I don't know, like Castlevania or something, or
those bats are pretty easy to kill in the beginning of Castlevania.
Well, no, I'm thinking anyway, other games like Ghouls and Ghosts.
Oh yes, okay,
Goblins, and stuff. Anyway, so I like that. It was. If you're used to Metroid games, which I've played 1 and 2, this is my first time playing this, it has the same feel where you just go exploring and looking for power-ups and eventually killing aliens. So It was nice that the aliens were few and far between at first, so you can get used to the feel of it. And then they were easy to kill, and then they get harder and harder as you get along.
Yeah, I do recall we reviewed Mega Man X on our 5th episode of the Retro Rewind podcast, where we're both from. You didn't like that in the beginning, the sort of opening boss battle against Vile, you couldn't win. Did you feel like that type of thing was going to happen with, I think it was,
never think that
with Ripley?
I'm never going to win. I hate it when I think I'm going to win and I don't.
Oh, okay. So you weren't like, oh, well, I was worried. Oh, no, here we go. They're going to have me where I'm not going to be able to beat this boss.
Well, I thought I might not be able to get back to the ship in time, but luckily that wasn't the case.
Nice. For me, the thing that I liked, and this will be more both borrowing from my playing it just now, and also I've played through the whole game once before. I really enjoy the overall look of the game, the sci-fi-ness of it. It's really a beautiful game. Lots of the levels are varied, and especially the music gets really good in different places. It's phenomenal.
That would have been my second music. It's very haunting. It's very well done.
Well, and it starts off haunting like that, but then it amps up into more like adventure and like more like, here we go, let's go. It's
cool.
It's like very reminiscent of, I guess I'd say, of Aliens, where it's it's creepy, but then you have the actiony part of it as well.
Yeah.
So
that's cool.
So that's something else I like. Paul, what would you say is the thing was your favorite thing about Super Metroid, even though you only had a limited amount of time with it?
Yeah, it's probably what you were getting at. It's I really like the richness of colors, and like I said, I played it on Game Boy and NES, and this is they are able to do more with the graphics, so it's a little more detailed. The world is a little more rich than those.
Yeah.
Now, if you're coming from Nintendo 64 or later Metroid games, and coming down to this might be the worst thing about it. But
yeah, I know there are some people that like just really don't like old style video game how they look. But I'm thinking, as you were saying that, I'm thinking of like Metroid Prime. I've seen people play Metroid Prime. I played Metroid Prime 3 Corruption, and I think that was the sort of tagline of it.
The corrupted version.
That's part of the title, Paul.
Oh.
And I just, even though those are beautiful games, certainly in their own right, they just don't seem as vibrant as even this short play of Super Metroid that we just did. There's much more drab.
Yeah, it's this one is a little. I can understand if someone said it's a little too colorful.
Yeah,
some of the colors approach neon almost.
Yes, they do. Yeah.
It almost reminds me of, it's like, hey, I would not be surprised if this was made by Nickelodeon. All these colors, but it does provide a more rich palette if you're looking for something more than the drab.
Yeah, exactly. Now let's. So that was your classic maker. You said was the graphics. For me, my classic maker would probably be some of the boss battles. They're so big, and it feels like there's this great sense of scale with how big.
Shrink.
No, it doesn't do that. I know some games do have that effect where it almost pulls the camera back.
Yeah, I was about to say they didn't have that technology.
No. You say, if I recall right, you stay the same size regardless of where you are.
So the monsters get bigger.
They're just they take up like two sort of frames of the TV essentially, and you have to go up and down, or they're just they zoom in from above.
You, honey, nobody has two televisions.
But they do have two boss battles, but it's just really cool to see. And I seem to remember one boss battle is really unexpected at one point. It's like, what? Oh my gosh. So the really cool, memorable boss battles, even though I said I didn't remember that one that I just mentioned, but I may remember something cool happening. I really like the boss battles. I thought they're good. That's my favorite thing.
Yeah. Last boss battle I had, I got fired because apparently you're not supposed to battle the boss.
In the game, Paul, not in real life.
Oh. Well, it would be helpful if someone actually related that to me.
Wow. How about some trivia about Super Metroid, Paul? Would you like that?
Yeah, I was wondering. Usually you forget something. Did you forget anything this time? Geek Devotions.
Check out Geek Devotions. Well, you know what Geek Devotions are. You're watching a video on their channel, but definitely check out Geek Devotions. Dallas and Celeste doing their weekly devotions on Fridays. They also do Twitch streams. They have a website with lots of articles going up all the time. They have Primitive Rhythm Machine on their podcast, their Comm Talk podcast. Branson Boykin does his comics show. Lots of content Geek Devotions is putting out. If you just watch the videos, you're missing out. Go check out all their stuff. You can find links to it all at geekdevotions.com.
Right.
Now, do you want some trivia, Paul? What?
Sure, yeah.
All right.
I said they're a website too. Like me. PaulJPowers.com.
Okay, so Samus fights Mother Brain, a biomechanical creature which controls the ZB's system, and Mother Brain
will get you.
Mother Brain. So this is sort of spoilers for the ending of the game. If you're sensitive to spoilers, tune out here for a second.
Which game?
Super Metroid, Paul, the game we're reviewing.
I thought she got killed in the first NES Metroid game. So I thought you were saying
guess not. So
spoilers for that game.
Yes. Mother Brain overpowered. Do you care about this though, or are you fine? Because I just realized you may not want to be spoiled.
That's up to each listener. So if you do,
no, but you, Paul, specifically.
Oh, I don't mind.
Oh, okay.
This game's 27 years old. If I haven't got to it yet,
All right, fair. Mother Brain overpowers Samus, and again, she is nearly killed, but the Metroid larva intervenes, attacking Mother Brain and healing Samus, confirming the scientist's findings. Mother Brain kills the Metroid, but upon death, it gives Samus the Hyper Beam, a powerful weapon strong enough to kill Mother Brain. Samus escapes ZBs as it self-destructs. My question to you, Paul, is... If there was...
What's a ZB?
My name's not Two-Lander. My question to you, Paul, is if you could have one part of your body with replaced with a biomechanical whatever, a limb, organ, what would you choose to have be replaced with? Some like something like a computer of some sort, or a biomechanical type thing.
Can I do like Johnny Mnemonic, where like my brain can like store all this?
Sure,
stuff?
Yeah. Like you add hard drive space to your brain.
No kung fu, like
kind of, yes. All right,
and
nice.
The internet. I
like that.
At first, I was going to go with an arm, but that might be painful. But not like I'm awake during surgery, but more like those ghost pains that people.
Oh yeah, like I've heard people. Worse than that for me would be I've heard people say they feel itches. And like things are, I'm like, you can't get rid of the itch. Oh, that'd be horrible. So
I hear sometimes it's like it's on fire.
That's worse. Okay, that would be worse. Fair. Oh goodness. Okay, well let's get into things that we didn't like. Oh, I mean, worse like fire is worse than an itch and a limb that's been removed. What's worse about this game? Because those are synonymous. What didn't you like about this playthrough, Paul? I'm kidding. They're not synonymous. Don't send your hate mail to dallas@geekdevotions.com.
Oh, shoot, is what you do with the Samus character.
Yes.
Pew, pew. I didn't write it down. I had my 2, and now I'm trying to remember. I got my main. So let's start with you, and maybe I'll remember.
Yeah, that's fine.
Other one.
My biggest, not biggest gripe, but something that I did not like about this game is the dumb doors that take 5 missiles to open. Why? I mean, that just seems so ridiculous. I mean, yes, they stay open once you've opened them, so it's not like you're depleting those 5 missiles each time. But that just, I don't get what they're trying to buy you, because you can get missiles back pretty easily. So it's not like, do I really want to open this door now? I'm not sure. Maybe I need to wait. It seems like it's trying to play this resource management game, but there's not really a lot of scarcity for missiles. So now you're just wasting my time and having to take the time to open this door. So that's one thing I didn't like about the game.
Okay. Well, I remembered the other thing I didn't like.
Go for it.
And that is, at the beginning, you can't press start to bypass all the text in the story. Like, you have to watch that ridiculously long intro.
And I couldn't believe...
I thought I had played this game before, but I doubt I ever got through that.
I don't understand why they didn't voice Samus, because they have a voiceover of one guy reading a little blip. So, I mean, I understand there's limited space on a SNES cartridge, but I don't know. I'd rather have Samus read that a little bit in a female voice, and then we just get text for the rest. So they sort of blend the 2 texts in. So because then I think it's easier for the player to understand. Okay, well they can't fit all this in, but at least we got to hear Samus a little bit.
Lara Croft wasn't available to lend her voice. Isn't that what this is? Lara Croft in space?
I don't think so, Paul. No.
Oh.
Isn't she a treasure hunter, not a bounty hunter?
Well, I thought there was only like 2 female video game characters. There's Miss Pac-Man and Lara Croft. Like Zelda is just Lara Croft on vacation.
Oh my gosh! Wow.
Playing cosplay with in the Ren Fair.
You're just
that's what I heard. I like all the female.
Sure. Again, send your hate mail to celestemoore@geekdevotions.com.
Yeah.
But speaking of hate, the thing I hated most about this game, and this wasn't a part we got to in our playthrough, but I remember this vividly from when I played through it a couple of years ago now, I believe it was. The wall jump is the worst implemented wall jump I've ever experienced. It is so hard to pull off, especially coming from someone that's like so used to the Mega Man wall jump, where you're just pressing and holding against the wall, and when you want to jump, you just press jump and it jumps. No, this you have to do some sort of press. You have to press into the wall, jump, and press out of the wall, like like if the wall's on your right, you press right into the wall.
You have to work for it.
And then
like you're actually jumping yourself.
And then left and jump at the same time to get a wall jump cube. Otherwise, you just drop. It's so ridiculously frustrating.
Oh, you forgot to jump. All right.
Yeah, exactly. And there's no
spin. No, that sounds frustrating.
Yeah.
It's almost as frustrating as getting the spinning thing at the very end instead of at the beginning where you just like...
Could just lay waste.
And
Is that your tragic maker that you don't get the best weapon at the beginning?
Right? You should be able, like, God mode instantly from the beginning. All right. You know, you just power it up from the previous planet you came from, and then you have to get up all their weapons all over again. And it's the same weapons and same abilities.
Sure. No, okay.
That's not my tragic maker, though.
Okay.
My tragic maker for this is the controls. I don't know. Maybe it's just my control, but it was... For the little amount of time that I played, it wasn't as intuitive as, again, Mega Man.
Yeah, exactly.
Brought it up.
Mm-hmm.
So it's more than just the wall jump. I mean, because in order to hit and defeat aliens and not keep falling down shafts because you keep missing little ledges, it's kind of frustrating.
Yes.
So it adds hours upon hours to this game unnecessarily, just because if they were able to tighten up the controls a little bit more, it'd be really... a little more playable.
Yeah. I totally see that. Awesome. Well, we've entered all our trajectories in the fighting computer. Let's get into our final reign for Super Metroid. I'm going to start this time because I don't usually get to, so I'm going to just go for it. So our reigns are classic. We'd recommend anyone go play this game, whether or not they've played it before. A nostalgic, if you've played it as like a kid or a young adult, or you've played it in the past, it's worth your time to play it again. But if you've never played it before, play a different game. Or a tragic, it's not worth anyone's time, whether or not they played it before. My yawning probably indicates my reign. No, it actually doesn't. I would rate this still a classic. I think it's a great game to play. Lots of fun to be had. Controls aside, which can get annoying, I think it's an excellent title for the Super Nintendo, especially if you're into retro games. Definitely seek this one out and give it a play. It's available on the SNES Classic if you happen to have one of those. It's also available on the Nintendo Online for Switch, and I imagine there's probably some other ports out there where you can find it. How about you, Paul?
Yeah, I am so close to agreeing with you that it's almost word for word. Yeah. No, I like this is if you enjoy the Metroid games, this is a great search for power-ups and defeat aliens. It's just like the rest. So it does a good job of getting that. I'm going to rate it nostalgic, though, because not everyone likes those kind of games.
Yeah, that's true.
If you don't, avoid it all.
Yeah, right. Very much so.
But if you do like Metroid and you're okay of slumming it down to the 16-bit era from like the modern era, then definitely give it a try.
Absolutely.
So for that rate, for that reason, I'm going to rate it nostalgic.
Awesome. So that leaves us at a draw, but how about you're the tiebreaker viewer? Let us know in the comments below how you would rate Super Metroid. Is it a classic in your book? Is it a tragic, a big stinker for some reason? Let us know what your rating is, classic, nostalgic, or tragic, and why. I'd love to hear from you. And now I think it's time to get back to Geek Devotions, Paul. What do you say?
What about spiritual speculation?
Okay, see you later. Bye. I'm Francisco. Bye. This is
PaulJPowers.com
from the Retro Rewind Podcast. Catch you there.
All right. Bye-bye.
Bye.
No spiritual speculation.
Oh my gosh, Paul.